think that they win the game through strategy. Right, so the game is won and lost in the draft for them, and sometimes, like I used to say, draft was always the biggest strength against them until I watched them play up against some of the the better teams, especially Evil Geniuses. Right, such a great drafter in PPD. You saw Ninjas and Pajamas not able to step up. If they didn't win the draft, they usually couldn't step up and win the game anyway.
Yeah, and I think the draft right now determines. I think I talked to a few players. I talked to at least the captains of both of the teams, with the exception of PPD, and they pretty much said that it feels like the draft determines so much of the game right now. Like if you win the draft, there's like a 60% chance or greater that you can win the game if your play skill is equal, right? Like if your team skill is equal, then the thing that's going to obviously change things is your draft. Like you can have great individual performances, like we saw even in our last game where Vici played against LGD and Super went ham. I mean, he had what, 10 kills at 18 minutes or something like that. So when you have something like that, I mean, it helps, but at the same time, having a good balanced draft helps even more at times. Just because I felt like last game they were limited by their draft.
This is an interesting, very interesting draft so far from Alliance. So they pick up the Sniper and Vengeful Spirit, but Ninjas and Pajamas take the Tree and Protector away from Alliance.
Yep.
They get the Troll on their side. And get Alina. Like that, okay, the Tree and Protector kind of being haggled over. That's only the interesting thing in the first one, too. But now Alliance go for the Slardar as the third pickup here. And we're seeing more and more Slardars when being run with an SF or a Sniper. Any one of those mids that can take over the one position in the late game. The Slardar as a nice aggressive carry not only allows you free Roshans, it gives you great single target capabilities, sort of an anti-carry in many ways, simply through the amplified damage, and then also makes for a great initiator with that quick blink dagger.
Yeah, when they play this Slardar, it feels reminiscent of the old Alliance, where actually now they have Pycat, who is traditionally people know as a damage-dealing type playmaker in the middle lane, but at the same time he wants to play those hard farm roles, and it feels like Loda is playing the S4 role where he is so versatile now. Like before, when you looked at Loda, all he did was free farm. He was like the stereotypical one player, but now he's playing all the initiators. It feels like he's really comfortable playing the Slardar type heroes, where he's the first one in, last one out.
Yeah, I think the comparison can be made to the old Evil Geniuses, where RTZ was playing the mid, or even Empire right now, where Silent is oftentimes playing a more versatile role as the carry instead of being the traditional hard farmer that he used to be. I feel like Resolution has now taken over that kind of a spot, so I think you can see some comparisons to other top tier teams. Do you think this is just a change up of the meta, right? That the mids are now adopting more hard carry, and that the carries now have to come out and play a little bit more versatile in their one position?
I think it's a combination of that, and just the fact that the mid lane is so easy to get farm on. It's become a thing where teams don't really care if your mid laner dies one time or something like that.
Right.
I mean, it matters if your mid gets solo killed like 3 times, but other than that, it's okay. Like, you can catch up. I mean, the biggest thing right now is just the Roshan. Like, if I see either team winning, it's just whatever team takes Roshan, you're gonna take down 3 towers with it uncontested. And I mean, that's why the Slardar pick is so popular too. With the Vengeful Spirit, Radiant, Dire, it doesn't matter. It's actually really hard right now to scout it out at all times too, which is why you see the Koreans and teams like them pick heroes like Beastmaster, so when they're on Radiant, they can just always have the Hawk 24/7. Like, you see EG pick Clockwork, and all Universe does is fire rockets into the Roche pit when they have it warded as well. So you just have to check for things like smokes into it and stuff like that. And we saw LG do it today too, right? When they smoked in, and that's how they came back into the game. And they were behind in that game before that too. And I mean, so much of it is determined right now in this meta by who does the Roshan first. And NiP have they have Troll, so they already have a Roche lineup. Alliance.
It seems like it's kind of become this systematic approach. Like, every single time I'm watching this lineup, I'm like, okay, like, as long as they do well in the laning phase, like, they're they're going to take the first Roshan, take some tier 1 towers. They're going to take the second Roshan, take some tier 2 towers, and they take the third Roshan and try and push uphill with Aegis and Cheese. And if they feel like they're a little bit too far behind, they wait it out for the fourth Roshan. You know, it's just become this very systematic approach when the winning team, the team that is ahead, they basically, because pushing high ground is so dangerous, they basically just wait out. All the timings come through Roshan. All the push timings come through that Aegis because they want to feel that extra bit of security when they push in and make sure that they don't feed away the early bit. Ninjas and Pajamas, what is this? The Lich last pickup, is this a solo off-lane Lich? Are we seeing dual lanes? The Lich Treant Protector most likely?
I could see dual lanes, but I think that this is maybe just so to slow down the Slardar's blink timing more than anything.
Right.
Like just try to get him as little levels as you can.
And it
also
cancels amplify damage essentially, right?
That's the other thing too, is that with Lich you can just put the armor on off the bat. Actually does call against heroes like Sniper because it affects range, and it destroys Slardar just because he has slow attack speed to begin. And so I think it's actually a really good pick, but Jonas and Fan is going to be playing the Treant, and Seal Kid's playing the Lich, so yeah, it looks like we could presumably see dual lanes, but yeah, like you said, it feels, I actually really kind of like the meta. I know a lot of pro players and people in general seem to hate on it, but it's kind of neat to see Roshan as this type of objective and the importance on him that was never quite placed before. Like right now it feels so key. At the same time, I think Roshan is a little bit too strong. Like if they made him, I don't know, like 50% stronger without armor reduction possible.
It's just too easy to take it with a Juggernaut or Troll pretty much solo, right? That's the biggest issue.
Yeah, so NiP, pretty well-balanced lineup. The only thing that I'm a little bit afraid for them, and I actually say this is NiP's weakness as well, is they're rarely picking initiators. Like if you noticed, in all of their drafts at MLG, like they only had Jonas Umfan as the main initiator ever. Yeah, exactly. And so, and if you look at Alliance's lineup, what do they have? Ake can do it, Nikwa can do it, Loda can do it, Mad could do it as well with aggressive swaps and stuff like that. And that's really what you want, is you want a multitude of ways to initiate, because right now in fights you have to wait for Jonas and Fan to get level 6 to be able to do anything.
All right, starting off this game number 1 in this 2-game series between Alliance and Ninjas in Pajamas. NiP are going to be starting off with an aggressive 5-man into the enemy jungle, see if they can't get some block offs. They're going to start with the magic Bush Ward that cancels out both the hard camp as well as the pull camp. You can see Alliance, though, they're doing a similar 5-manning, hoping to be able to secure first blood as well as the top bounty rune when the time comes. We'll see whether or not NiP accidentally stumble into that, though I highly doubt it. When you don't see anybody in the enemy jungle, when you do an invasion like that, it kind of tips you off. Okay, they're either in our jungle or they're setting up a 5-man for that bounty rune. So they're not going to even try and contest that. In fact, you could see Era going kind of the long way around to make sure he doesn't get caught by the 5-man of Alliance. And they will secure the bounty rune for Limp as the mid Lina going up against the mid Sniper. Pycat playing that one, who also secured the bounty rune. So pretty standard start for both sides. We are going to be seeing dual lanes. Jonas Umfan going to be playing the Treant Protector with Seal Kid on the Lich. And then we have the dual lane of Era Troll and Hanskin playing the Skyreth Mage up against the aggro try of Alliance with Mad, Ake, as well as Loda playing the Slardar.
Yeah, and actually, you called the Lich Treant, and it just depended on who was going to play what, but I mean, the Darkseer is actually quite decent against the tree just because the Ion Shell burns away
living armor.
Yeah, the living armor really quickly, and at the same time, yeah, the Lich, he has to rotate. There's no way that he needs to be down there. He can't harass down a Darkseer just because the Darkseer can abuse the jungle camps as well. And it's just no use for the Lich being down there because, I mean, it's a Darkseer, right? He's just going to spam Ion Shell anyways to farm. So I think if Alliance, they should win the bottom lane okay once Darkseer gets like 3 levels. Like right now you're seeing the Treant last and deny everything, but it's only because his base attack is so high.
Yeah. I actually kind of would have liked to see, it's a very small thing. Yes, the Lich should rotate up to the top lane. He can't do much against bottom, but I think just getting up the early level 2 and then rotating in. That way you have the nuke. Once you play a part, like that's a little bit of surprise factor, right? All of a sudden Lich is there. He has the offensive capabilities of his Frost Blast. And not just coming in with, whoa, middle lane. Matt is actually going to give away his life in exchange for getting the kill onto Limp. First blood goes to Pycat. Completely missed out on that one. But
this join Dota camera work, man.
I know. It's so bad. So bad. It's been a long day.
Nikwa actually, it looks like he's going to rotate up top. Because I was just about to say, Slardar's doing okay at top, but he's giving up free farm to the troll, and this bottom lane could be going better. I mean, Jonas Sumthan has 9 CS, 10 CS already. Darkseer cannot deny him. I think they're going to rotate in actually a mid.
Yeah, Pycat's dead. He's got a haste rune on Hanskin. He'll just be able to run down Pycat, and he'll actually take the last hit, not letting Limp get the opportunity. So very fortunate rune pickup, and also really good setup by Limp, managing to land that Light Strike array.
Yeah, they actually told me too that it's like his best hero.
Yes,
it's the hero
100%.
that he feels the most comfortable with by far, and I mean it shows right now. And so mid actually, okay, brings him back.
Yep, nice setup. Limp is caught inside the kinetic field. They do have the living armor helping him out, as well as the bottle delivered. And that is actually going to be enough for the slowdown on Pycat. They could actually turn this one around. Light strike array, and Pycat goes down, overextending their welcome. And that goes to show the strength of the living armor, plus the very timely rotation from our Lich bottom lane. Looks like Treant Protector got caught. Mad and Loda able to chase him down underneath the tower. 2-3, and a lot of action here in the first 3 minutes between NiP and Alliance.
Yeah, I said oh no because it sounded like I was biased towards Alliance, but it was just because I felt bad for it. it was like one of those funny situations where you look to yourself and you're like, oh, it's a little bit too late to rotate in, and Limp with a really nice stun, absolutely crucial in getting the kill in. It looked like a really good rotation for a second by Ake, but the tree armor was on point, and I think that's part of the reason why he tied too, is because he's like, oh, I have to use the tree armor for my Lina instead, but he absolutely needs that. And if you notice too, he has quite the level advantage now over the sniper.
Yeah, he certainly does. Level 5 compared to the level 4 of Sniper, he's actually got over a full level of advantage, and that is going to pay off big once he manages to pick up his level 6 and the burst damage to the Laguna Blade. Really, you only need 1 support rotation. Hanskin caught out here. They are actually going to go for a glimpse play. Kinetic field blocking him out. Nice body blocking. Mad, can he get there in time for the stun? Ooh, just barely. The TP was about to complete, but Mad does manage to get the stun out, taking the kill on the Skywrath Mage, and they're also going to grab the invisibility rune for Mad. Well, he actually doesn't have enough mana for a stun just yet, but give it some time, and maybe they could get the kill on Era.
Yeah, they look like they want to set up on him, and actually, the Skywrath's body was in the base when he died. Like, I was hovering over their base. It's just one of those.
Really?
Yeah. It just sort of sucks. Like,
split second, like same frame, death, and TP out sort of thing.
Yeah, and it prioritizes the stun there, so they are able to get it, and Loda continuing to farm at bottom is doing okay. 16 CS, not the greatest, but NiP heavily have the advantage so far in this early farm game.
Oh, Loda spotted out here. Seal Kid trying to play aggressive on him. Vengeful Spirit doing something similar here against the safe lane farming troll, but Era does know. He saw the Invis rune picked up from this ward right here, and probably made the assumption that Vengeful Spirit is now sitting on him, especially since it has been missing for quite some time. Ooh, nice counter ward being placed there by Hanskin. Manages to catch the mid ward. That's only going to be up for another 45 seconds or so, so it's not that big of a deal, but it does.
That's just a good sentry in general. It covers out so much vision.
Yeah,
it'll take away the most common spot, yeah, and those are like the 3 most common spots, but Hanskin might actually get caught out. He's got so much move speed though on Skywrath.
Yeah, but Loda's going to catch up eventually, thanks in part to the shrapnel. Limp's going to come in, Light Strike Array, ready to go. The stun on the Limp, they're actually going to go for him first, and that is a critical kill. He gets off the Light Strike Array, but not good enough. Now the TP back from Hanskin canceled by a glimpse, and that is going to be Pycat ending the fight with a double kill. 5-3 in the favor of Alliance.
Yeah, and just a really good rotation by Loda out. I mean, they don't have vision on the left side of the river, and so it's really sketchy for Hanskin to go for that counter ward, especially since, I mean, you don't know where half the heroes are in the game. It's hard to anticipate that rotation by Loda, though. But Loda's just saying, okay, this whatever lane I go to, this Lich is just following me around and denying creeps. So farming isn't exactly his game right now. It looks like he's just going for rotations, and that was a huge one, too. Being able to kill the Lina I mean, Limp thought for a second, he's like, oh, they're going all in on the Skywrath. And even the living armor went down on him as well. And all of a sudden, I mean, Limp gets blown up so quickly, though. 700 HP with 2 armor.
Do you agree with the Train Protector prioritizing Leech Seed over Living Armor?
I think if you were against the Darkseer 1v1, yes. Just because the living armor won't do so much for you in the laning phase. But it's a laning phase build.
Yeah.
You need something to be able to counteract the damage of the Darkseer.
Yeah. Obviously, the living armor wouldn't be so good. It just feels a little bit selfish, right? He's prioritizing himself over his allies, essentially. Yeah, Hanskin's very dead. The physical damage from these heroes is enough. Ake's going to go down at the same time. They're going to trap Era inside the kinetic field. Looks like they actually want to go for this one. Loda with the Ion Shell is going to be able to run over Era. It looks like the right click not quite good enough. Another one. Nope. Darkseer goes down to Laguna Blade, though, and they're going to be able to chase down Mad. They do have Train Protector coming in from the side. Lotus stalls him up. Light Strike Array misses, but Mad will go down eventually. So double kill for Limp as Alliance play that pretty aggressively into the enemy jungle. And with the Lina rotating around, it makes it a decent fight for them.
Yeah, and Mad's actually been really on point this game with getting it being as part of his many kills as he has so far, but it opens up the map a little bit more for Pycat, who's had such a hard time this game. All he has is 24 CS. It's just the pressure that Lina is able to put and how much easier it is for the Lina to farm. And good rotations by Limp, being able to pick up some backup kills, because if he hadn't gone that would have just been terrible for them. And at bottom, that's the power of both of those getting a kill on Ake.
Yep, that first hit bash, not really necessary, but it does help get the kill a bit faster onto the Disruptor. Nice rotation out and good setup from Hanskin, the Skywrath Mage. He needs some experience, though. I mean, he just got that. He helped get that kill on the Disruptor, and he's still only level 3 by 8.5 minutes in.
He's about to get level... No, he's not. I thought for a second
nope.
They would give him the...
Limp's like, no, that's mine. Maybe he'll give the bottle to Hanskin. That would be the nice thing. That would be the nice thing, Limp.
Limp, he needs the level.
Nope. He's like, not my level 9 is more important than your level 4. Yoda-Saban is maybe going to go to... Oh, no. TP's in, and Neek was actually in some trouble anyway, as he is going to be leech-seated up, and he does not have a surge for another 3 seconds here. He should go down. Yeah, they're going to use the Chain Frost just to ensure it. And Loda, silenced up, can't do anything to stop that aggression for the time being.
Yeah, and Loda's actually not going to have a Blink Dagger for quite some time. He's gotten all of these utility items, and it's just the power of the Lich so far. It's forced him into this role where he has to get both a bottle for the HP regen, and he's got a Magic Wand. Just Magic Wand on a fully completed Magic Wand on a core. It feels like one of those items like, oh, we're kind of behind. We've got to get something to kind of slow the bleeding, and so it looks like we have more farm than we do as well. Like, it's just a good all-around item to get against NiP's lineup as well. But it is going to mean that his Blink Dagger is delayed, and it's just been a product of good laning choices by NiP. Like, always rotating the Lich to whatever lane Loda decides to go. Like, look at where Seal Kid is. He just continues to rotate wherever lane Loda is just to deny a creep or two every single time.
Yeah, it's pretty rough. He's not even going for any early levels. Now, sometimes we've actually seen this where Liches will not go for the maxed out Frost Blast and actually choose to go for early levels of Ice Armor. Do you think that should have been a consideration for the Lich in this game?
I think around level 7 or 8, if you get it, it's okay, but it's not like it's going to matter so much at this point in the game. If you get ganked by more than one hero and the Slardar's there as well, you're probably going to die, and Frost Armor, I doubt, would make such a huge impact there. I think the damage of the nuke is a little bit more efficient. The scarier thing right now for Alliance is just the fact that Limp, once he gets this Eul Scepter, you have to sit somebody behind the sniper at all times.
Yeah. I mean, it's a guaranteed kill on whoever he grabs, right? Era's dead. He knows it too. He's just going to get off the Whirling Axes and try and survive as long as possible for the TP's in. But with that kinetic field set up, Ake manages to zone out the rest of the TPing and supports. And now NiP, they got to be careful here. They did cancel one of their TP's back to Glimpse, and they're going to grab Yoda-Saban. Stun him up, keep him inside of that Static Storm, and we'll be able to get the kill. Lich trying to slow down with the, oh, nope, Surge actually will get him away. Oh, the Laguna Blade, long range from Limp, gets that kill. Now Ake's going to be next, hit by the Light Strike Array, and right-click down. Limp, once again, making the right rotations at the right time when Alliance seemed to triumph in a team fight. All of a sudden, Limp will show up and even out the kill count.
Yeah, and there's no reason for Alliance to rotate anymore. Heroes down there is just too far for the opportunity to present itself. I think Era actually should have just gone to the Ancients. I mean, in hindsight, if you're able to see the map, you can make that call, but being in the off lane right now is a little bit too dangerous, especially with the style that Loda's playing. Like, Loda isn't playing a typical 1 anymore, and they're treating it like he is, but all he's doing right now is rotating around the map, setting up for kills with the Ion Shell plus Sprint and Haste combination, and so I think NiP have to be a little bit more careful. Like, they're winning the farm war very dominantly. I mean, all they have to do when you're against this type of style, though, is play 20% more safe. Go to the jungle where the lane would farm you a little bit more faster, but just go to the jungle instead. I mean, just look at Loda. We haven't talked about it because Loda has been active on the map, and all things look good just because he set up for 7 of his team's 9 kills. But look at the amount of farm that he has, or lack thereof.
Yeah, he hasn't gotten any of the... I mean, he got 1 kill, and that's it. The last hit-wise, he's really suffering. Yule Scepter, and he's going to die again here. Stunned up, double ultimates. Well, no, actually, they don't need the Laguna Blade. Just the Mystic Flare is good enough, but they caught 2 inside of the Static Storm. Limp, the only hope is him getting out, but... the right clicks are more than enough, and now the sniper is going to be able to chase down more with the shrapnels laid out. Does give them the vision to be able to lock in Era. Nicely placed by Ake, holding that hero in. Era will go down. Nikwa barely manages to survive. Good swap out there from Mad and Yorosamfon. Looks like they want to try and chase him down underneath the tier 1 tower, but they halt their aggression. Alliance play it just well enough in order to counter that attempted kill. I mean, they did get it on the Slardar, but they responded in a good amount of force, mainly because of Ake's early level 6 that did so much there, getting the 2-man Static Storm into the vacuum.
The other thing, too, is that it's the power of the sniper. There's no good way, again, I said NiP, they lack initiation, right? There's no good way for them to get on top of the sniper right now, and it's so easy for them to kill Era, who's so underfarmed. Like, for Era to do anything, he needs minimum of 1 stat item plus the BKB. And although he's got the most farm in the game, I mean, he's also died 3 times and hasn't been able to put it into use.
Right.
The level disadvantage is there too. Loda has 26 CS, but he's the same level as Era.
Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous. 72 CS on the Troll, but still only sitting at about 4,200 net worth. Limp, though, is looking pretty damn good because he's always cleaning up on these team fights. He's at 5,800 net worth right now. So what do you think? Just straight Blink Dagger after the Yule Scepter in order to get that kind of initiation? Mad going to be found here. Yule Scepter, stun, and blow him up. Nice and easy. Question is, can they actually get out? Loda's trying to set up for a kill. Limp is running down from the rest of his allies. Hanskin's going to have to turn this one around, though. Light Strike Array misses. Nice dodge there from Loda. They're going out for this kill. Seal Kid does have enough for Frost Nova, or at least the cooldown's ready to go. He just needs a little bit more mana. Turn it around. Nope, Seal Kid just runs away. He knows Hanskin's going to be caught. He's still taken out by the Assassinate. Hanskin also going down. Light Strike Array hits Nikwa, but Limp cannot stay on that kill. They do force a lot of the Alliance members and creates a lot of space for both middle and top, but they lose both of their supports in the process.
Yeah, Era's going to get some measure of farm out of this, and I mean, Mad, he's near the bottom of the net worth chart, but he's had so much impact, so it feels like that's a big kill, but you just lost both of your supports. Loda was there for the kills once again, as was your sniper, who... It kind of works out for both teams, though. Like, yes, you lost one more hero if you're NiP, but at the same time, you freed up a lot of time for your carry to get some farm, your off lane to get some farm as well, and the Lina gets away with that kill. She gets the last hit on the kill on Mad and gets away as well. So if you're both teams, you're probably kind of okay with that.
Yeah. I would actually say, like, the biggest thing in my mind is the fact that Loda didn't get either one of those kills.
Yeah, he's continuing to not get kills here.
Loda is actually, like, he is actually losing farm when they go for those engagements because he doesn't get the last hit. It just means the Blink Dagger is stalled out even further. Like, he's just now getting treads. Blink Dagger is so far away. Like, you're going to need a good 5 to 10 minutes of free farm time if you want that, or a really good team fight where Loda actually survives.
So Limp is going to... I think he might go for the Ags first just because you need something to kill the sniper, and the increased range I believe that the ultimate gives you is really going to help, and if you anticipate Loda getting a BKB as a second item as well, it's just going to hard counter that and really put a bit of a dent in his item progression. Mad stacking up the jungle right now. I think this is the best thing for them to do. You play a little bit passively, wait for Roshan opportunities, and hopefully your Slardar will eventually pick up some farm, because right now this is like a 3-position Slardar. It's not that Loda's played badly, he's actually rotated quite well. It's just from the beginning with the Lich always being in his lane, it made farm nearly impossible.
Right. Clearing through some stacks for Nikwa to be able to finish up his mech, so some added sustain. What do you think about the 4-staff first build, though, for Darkseer? Very unusual.
I think it's in response to the Lina Yules, just so you can get somebody out.
Yeah.
If you get Yules up, you'll just turn and hopefully Nico can get you out before the Laguna Blade comes off. That just means that Limp has to throw it off almost immediately instead of going for the Slave right after. But even then, it's just a good item in general. Blink Dagger isn't as effective because you don't want to get in melee range of a troll. And so getting the 4-staff, I think this is actually a really smart choice. Even getting it before the mech, it's going to help your team out the most. They know about the Roshan.
Yeah, it's whenever you pop that ultimate, you should know. If Troll's not on the map, he's doing that. Limp is going to be caught out here. Static Storm quickly cleaned up with the rest of... Oh, swap out. No, it's not good enough. Pycat just gets taken out there with the Mask of Madness. Matt's going to be up next. A glimpse back, but I don't think it'll save Ake, as he will be run down by the very, very fast Troll. Or maybe not. Surge gets Sake some space. Range form. Era couldn't quite get the last hit, and I'm not sure if those nukes are going to be enough. Yeah, never mind. He's got him. Last right click, and he will die. No response whatsoever from Alliance. Nikwa may even be caught if he's potentially bashed up. 4-staff gets some distance, and he's just kind of kiting. Era around. Finally, Loda comes in, gives him the surge. Amplified damage, but Loda can't keep up. Like, it is actually so
Troll
fast.
Is so fast.
He gets surge, and he's, like, barely faster than the Troll. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, so Troll manages to get away with that one.
I feel like that is actually... why Darkseer feels so bad.
Just because everybody's hasted?
Yeah, everyone's moving so fast. Surge is not an ability.
You know what? This is a cast cap. We can't talk about how good of a hero Troll is. That's not. Everybody knows it. I mean,
no, I'm just talking about, like, generally speaking.
Oh yeah.
Everyone's fast, right? Lina, Troll. We're talking about Mask of Madness heroes like Juggernaut and Sniper. Like, everyone is so fast that it feels like Surge is a very bad ability.
Yeah, it feels a little bit clowny that that Arrow is able to catch up to him there. But
I think they need to buff him like the Spirit Breaker charge. Let's make Surge go past 5/2/2.
That'd be kind of neat.
I think like that would be a good way to make it stronger as you level it up, right? Because most people are just like,
it'd be better
one
than
or two.
It'd just be better than playing around with the vacuum, which iStrong has done for like the last 7 patches. But
never forget 28 to 28. That cooldown change.
I mean, I think right now though, obviously that went NiP's way, and it's just the fact that they have the farm advantage on top of the Roche. It helps so much.
Right.
Just the fact that Era, who suddenly 2 seconds ago was super underfarmed, is now near the top of the net worth chart. And right above him is his Lina player, who actually, it was a bit misfortunate because he could have been able to solo kill the sniper right there. And Matt actually had that sick swap that looked really sick for half a second.
Yeah.
And then all you realized it did was force the chain frost bounce.
Yep.
And got himself killed as well. It's one of those situations where he made the right initial play with what he saw, but I mean, NiP, although they don't have the best initiators, you don't really need to initiate when you run at near haste and move speed at all times. Able to get a lot of kills right there.
Finally. I mean, I just don't think Alliance could fight without Blink Dagger. Like, they got some lucky engagements, I think, early on. For example, like that Static Storm at top lane, where they caught 2. That was really nice from Ake. But generally speaking, I don't think they can force team fights without Blink Dagger. So now that that's up for Loda, so much of their combination is going to be dependent on it. Like, the whole entire Vacuum, Slardar, Slithering Crush, like, that's a combo that's been there for years.
Fan, he's so dead.
He's very, very dead.
Alliance were smoked up. They don't have ward vision anyways. That was really good play, though, because they knew for a fact that top was going to, or top wasn't really in pressure. And Alliance were like, oh, we're going to lose this fight. We don't want to fight even 4v5 right now against Era. We might as well go for something on the side, and they don't have vision of that. They were smoked up as well, so the kill is absolutely secured. They're going to get a little bit out of this, maybe even push out this top tower as NiP head for this mid one. And NiP, they do have the advantage right now, and Era just skipping creeps entirely.
Power of the troll, but the response from Alliance, they glyph up.
This is
TP
so
back.
bad for NiP.
Yeah, it really is. Hanskin's going to get bursted down. Limp is going to try and go for the quick kill on Man. It does get it, but now they've been grouped up together. Loda is still looking for that extra kill. The rest of NiP, though, managed to respond in time. Skywrath Mage just didn't die fast enough. There's that force staff coming into play, but it doesn't matter. Loda still goes down. Seal Kid almost surviving, but not quite good enough. It feels like that Frost Armor. Did they have Frost Armor on the Skywrath Mage? Because it felt like they took a very long time to kill him.
Because if they were able to burst him down, they could have actually isolated both Alina and the Skywrath, and they had the perfect fight. That's why I was like, oh, this is so bad for NiP, because it looked like they were able to form like a line between the heroes.
Yes.
And even with the Aegis, you take that fight. Like, viewers should understand that the Aegis isn't the end-all, be-all of items. If you split a positioning like that, it's still not that great. But it just took them so long to kill that Skywrath Mage, who all he has right now is Tranquil Boots and a Vit Booster, but with the Living Armor, with the Frost Armor up as well, it becomes so long, it takes so long to kill him. And then the Lina, I mean, she's just so strong at this point. She's got an Aghanim Scepter as well. That pretty much, who can she one-shot? Let's just take a look. How much damage does it do?
She can actually, if she gets to level 16, she can one-shot the Disruptor.
Yeah, she could actually one-shot the Disruptor, come really close to doing the Vengeance. That's actually, if she gets to level 16, she would do more than 3/4 everybody's health on the side of Alliance.
Wow. That's actually really disgusting. I mean, the Slardar is so underfarmed. He picked up a Blink Dagger not so long ago, and that's all he has, obviously. The Sniper, not well known for being very verse in HP. So all he's got is the S and Y, and then the Mask of Madness makes you even squishier.
Yeah, and so the Lina at this point is the scariest hero in the game. She's level 15, almost 16. So if your Alliance, your game plan is kill the Lina at all costs. You will kite the Troll just because NiP have a lack of initiators in general, but you have to kill the Lina. Do not let her get her ultimate off, because you'll start a fight 4v5, and as I've said before, Dota is a numbers advantage game.
Did they see that smoke? I feel like NiP are playing too aggressively, that they didn't see the smoke. They're going to try and drop Loda, though. They're going to be a successful Overgrowth, and Mystic Flare is enough to kill the kill. Now Ake's in some trouble. Cleaned up by Limp. They do get the kill on Hanskin, but Alliance, they just all got to retreat now. Nikwa on the side is going to try and TP out, or not. He's just surging around. At the same time, Limp's actually in some trouble. It's the Sniper peeping his way through heroes. He's going to be able to get the Seal Kid. Oh, nice bounce back. The Chain Frost is going to be able to finish up Nikwa, and that slows down Pycat enough for Aaron to catch up as well. Pycat going for the jukes here, but the Whirling Axes gives him enough. Pycat is fast enough to get out, though. So they do. Is Aaron in trouble? Oh, God. Aaron's dead.
He actually doesn't have Aegis as well. Oh, but he's getting tree armor. He has to be careful right now because Pycat's got shrapnel up as well. This is like the weirdest kite battle ever, but Limp's coming in.
He's going to go for the kill. Pycat, it does end up getting wiped out by that 1-2. Ake, he's going to try and get the kill onto Limp. He's got Static Storm. That's a guaranteed kill right there. Meanwhile, Era chased down by Loda. Should be able to get him. Last right click does get it in the end.
Pycat buys back as well.
Yep, he buys back. Will be a part of the Train Protector kill. Peeped. And Pycat, 23-22. What an insane, almost all Swedish battle we have on our hands. 45 kills in 25 minutes.
This has been an aggressive game, to say the least. Both teams not willing to back down. This seems like a show of force type of game. It's like, okay, I'm not going to back down. You're not going to back down. Let's see who will lose the aggression first. And what looked like such a fantastic setup for NiP, especially at top. They fought for so long that Loda was able to come back into the game, and he's such a low level at this phase that he was able to come back and participate in the next set of fights that happened. And so Pycat, I mean, he baited so far into his base. Well worth the buyback, I feel.
Oh, yeah.
Especially if they can take this mid tower, too. He got level 16 off of that fight.
I don't know. Do you think the buyback was actually, like, his death was worth it? Do you think the buyback was worth it? Because he only got Unison fun, essentially.
Buyback is always worth it. It feels so strong right now. And Era actually gets TP'd out of there, opting not to use his BKB. That means Alliance are actually going to take out 2 tier 1 towers right now.
Yeah, that's very important. A big increase in gold. And you're going to see that net worth start climbing back up to the Alliance favor. There was about a 7,500 gold lead for NiP in both gold and experience, but that has been offset by the end of that last engagement. Now, Roshan's going to be coming up here. Longer Roshan, actually, so about a minute and a half, 2 minutes.
Yeah, and that buyback, you're seeing the effects of it right now. Just because he bought back and they immediately go for 2 separate tower pushes while NiP are dead. Obviously, NiP don't want to go for a buyback on their own there, but just a good response by Pipecat. Alliance, I mean, it looked really bad for them at first, but able to turn it around. And NiP, their next Roshan, I mean, if it wasn't crucial before, it is right now because they need to take it down. Like, if they give Alliance this Roshan, it really gives them a huge way back into this game. And the Lina is level 16. She does have that level 3 Laguna Blade, but it feels like Ake targets her every single time.
Yeah.
With the combo, and you can't actually Yule Scepter the Glimpse either. And so if Ake plays this really well, there's actually very little chance that this Lina is ever going to survive, much less get her ultimate off.
So do you think BKB is the next required item for Limp?
I think it absolutely is, just because you Yules yourself up in the air, and the Glimpse just brings you back down. It snatches you out of the air. So I think he does need to get something along those lines. Like, I think a BKB, the problem with playing heroes like Lina mid is that you snowball and scale really quickly, but by not getting items like BKB or Shadow Blade or something like that, items that will give you better positioning or survivability in general, you can blow it all away, right? You can get 3 kills and then just feed off a kill, and then it'll almost be worth it for the enemy team at that point.
So Lina looking to pick up some more defensive items. We do have the Train Protector who finished up the Aghanim Scepter, so those eyes in the forest are going to start taking over the game, and I am actually quite pessimistic about Alliance's chances now. I don't know, Eyes in the forest is just so tough to deal with.
It's a Roshan game now, Cap. Yeah. If Alliance can actually sneak the Roshan or stop NiP after the Rosh fight, I really feel like this game is anyone's game. The problem right now, though, is that with the Eyes in the forest, it becomes a little bit difficult to go around places without smoke.
Yeah, I don't understand why Unison Fan is not going down to that Roshan area. I mean, that's where Eyes in the Forest is one of the strongest abilities, I feel. Because you can actually see inside the Roshan pit. You can also set up overgrowth areas around the Roshan pit. This outside tree is great. You can get some vision around the Radiant side cliff where they're going to be coming through, and even have some inside the Roshan area. But he spent a lot of time up there in the top lane. In fact, he's still there. The rest of his crew is... Ooh, they wait out this wave of terror. They could actually go for Roshan. They could sneak it in.
Yeah, and I think that's what they'll opt to do. If you notice too, Yonosum Fan, he's off the vision because they don't want to see when the troll battle trance gets popped, but Alliance, they're moving in. Do they have a smoke for this at least? No, so vision-wise isn't the best for them, and if they come in after this Roshan, the wave of terror will spot it out, but...
Oh, with the vacuum, he actually puts Limp onside the clip. That is a great start. Ake tanks the Chain Frost, probably going to be going down here. Limp manages to finish off the Darkseer with the Laguna Blade. Seal Kid will die. As Loda, well, the Assassinate, rather, will finish him off, and the rest of Ninjas in pajamas. They win the fight, they get the Aegis, they don't get punished for it at all. A good fight for them, absolutely. And it all comes down to the fact that they smoked up, went into the Roshan pit, and waited out Wave of Terror.
Yeah, and that was a decent attempt at the vacuum trick, but Era, I mean, those reaction time, like he gets the BKB off, manages to evade it as well, and then just starts going right-click heavy on all of them. I feel like NiP could have gotten a little bit more out of that fight. They were slightly uncoordinated there. Like, Era decided to go for the Vengeful Spirit, but Mad just stuns him and runs away, and so they're unable to do that, but still a win overall for NiP. I mean, they got the Roshan, they got 2 kills on top of that, and Era's getting so farmed right now. He's got... I remember at one point he was like a lower level than the Lich by 2, and all of a sudden he's level 18 now.
Rod of Atos, soon to be a Scotty for the Troll. What has Limp got? Oh, he actually does have the completed BKB. So that is a fresh 10 seconds.
Did you expect anything else?
I did not. No, I expected the BKB. I just wasn't sure if he had it. I didn't see his pickup.
Yeah. You just absolutely need one at this point. And Era actually opts to go for the Scotty just because, what, you think in response to the Slardar, especially?
I mean, generally it's a great stat item anyway, but I do think he does need to tank up a bit more, as long as they have the sustain, right? Because this is the biggest issue dealing with Sniper, in that you're just going to be constantly pecked at. But if you're tanky enough to survive through those pecks and deal with the rest of Alliance, essentially, then you're going to be good. Plus, Alliance are going to try and kite you around quite heavily, so the slow is going to be nice.
Alliance, they don't have smoke anymore, and so what you're supposed to do if you don't have a smoke anymore, you have to buy a gem at this point.
Yeah, gem and hatchet, right? All the way.
You need to deward, otherwise they just watch you coming from so far away, and you need the gem anyways against the tree. But it's especially when you want a position where you're behind like this, you don't have any sort of smokes. The only way you set up at this point is with the gem.
Yeah. And the biggest problem I feel like Eyes in the Forest right now is the fact that if you lose this gem, you are done for. Like, I don't think you can actually make the comeback from that point.
It's so hard. It's just miserable playing at that point. And if you notice too,
they just smoked under it.
Yeah. So Alliance immediately smoke. They do this often also, like when they're against a Roshan or something like that, because a lot of teams tend to get sloppy once they have the Aegis, and they think to themselves that they're invincible. But look at what NiP have done. They, instead of farming out the map like most teams do, they actually counter smoke because they know that they're there.
And Era, well, he has been spotted out, amplify damage, but he's already on top of Ake. Both supports down and out. Alliance just on full retreat at this point in time. Some fan was hoping to catch more, but doesn't look like it. TP's out, and Alliance will escape. Relatively, I mean, they only lost 2 supports. It could have been a lot worse, but at the same time, they can't afford to be in a position where they're losing fights anyway.
Yeah, and probably the bigger thing for them is the fact that they had to smoke. It's not the fact that smoke costs or anything. It's 100 gold. It's relatively negligible. You lose both of your supports there, but it's the fact that smoke takes a really long time to respawn. I mean, look at how much it's going to take for Alliance to get to the next smoke. It's 9 minutes cap.
Oh, jump on a limp, hoping for the bash. Not quite getting it. Now the Yule Scepter onto Loda. And, well, it looks like Pycat should be enough to clean up this kill anyway. And that is going to spell the end of the engagement. Alliance back out. Happy with that one pick off. Loda, whoa, he's actually going back in there, looking for the amplified damage, chase down Hanskin. Oh, Nikwa looking for the vacuum as well, managed to catch 3, but unfortunately the Blink Dagger on cooldown. Loda could not follow that up. Overgrowth catches out Mad, but really that's about it. Pycat's still in great position, but Era's going straight for him. He knows he has to deal with this carry, but stunned up by Loda with the amplified damage on top of him. Loda may die, but it may cost Era his life. Chain Frost bouncing over to Pycat. Not a good situation. Era now manages to get the whirling axes onto Pycat, and he's going to end up falling. There's nothing you can do about this one. That missed percentage chance. Oh, wow, he actually gets away. Pycat peeps Era, takes out that Aegis, but Seal Kid, he's now going to push forward. Not getting the kill onto Pycat. The slowdown onto Mad will get that.
What a swap, though.
That swap.
Definitely take that trade 10 times out of 10.
I feel like Era could have gotten the kill because he didn't switch to range for him right away.
Yeah, he might have had half a second there, but probably thought they had the kill. But good play by Alliance to supports. But as we talk about, well played by Alliance, I mean, you did just lose you just lost your carry and another hero, and you got away with your mid hero by the skin of your teeth. And so, if you look at that fight, it went almost ideally for Alliance, and they still got dominated.
It starts out with the Lina pickoff. I think the biggest turning moment for me was the fact that Nikwa positioned himself to get a vacuum, but there was no follow-up.
Yeah.
Right? And that's just miscommunication. Nikwa can't go in and use this 28-second cooldown ability to group people up and not have any follow-up. And that's primarily on the Slardar. Like, that's their really only good AoE stun. Yeah. Ake at that point, I think, had already blown Static Storm for something. I think for the Lina kill.
Yeah, he actually used it for... Oh, no, he had it up. But, because remember, he used it like half a second later for the 2 supports. But at the same time, NiP also got split up. If you notice that Arrow went for 2 people while Yonosum Fan uses ultimate on the front line of Alliance. And so... Both teams just have to communicate a little bit better about what they're trying to do. And Alliance, they're making their way up here just because they have no wards, but at the same time, still no smoke, so they have to be really careful here. They have to be ready for a fight at this point, is what it shows. And right now, Alliance are just getting further and further behind. If you look at the support levels, that's kind of what I want to look at, just because it'll give you a good sign of how the game's going.
Yeah.
And the Skywrath Mage is level 16 right now, and the Lich is level 15. And if you take a look, conversely on Alliance's side, it's not the best.
Yeah, 11, 12. Net worth wise, it's a pretty big gap as well between Hanskin at 7,700 and the Disruptor at 4K. This means Skywrath Mage actually has a full out Yule Scepter plus a Rod of Atos that he picked up first, while our Disruptor is still struggling to pick up the Aghanim's upgrade.
And this Rod of Atos is really going to pay off just because it gives you such a good way to initiate on the sniper from long distance.
Right.
And it allows you, I mean, what's Slardar's BKB at? It's at 9-second charges. That's actually a lot more than I thought, considering he got the item in 30 minutes. But
yeah, he only used it in that last engagement.
yeah.
So
As it lowers, though, I was going to say as the time lowers, it's pretty good.
all right, guys. Well, we were going to have a bit of a break here, but we can talk about some daily dose of D. We could talk about some of the progression of this game. We have over a 12,000 gold lead for Ninjas in Pajamas, over 15,000 experience as well. We have a Troll Warlord who has managed to pick up a Scotty now on top of the BKB and Blink Dagger that he already had. The Blink Dagger going to be pretty key. Actually, did he just pick up that Blink Dagger? I feel like he did.
Yeah, he did. He just got it. If he had it earlier, he definitely would have used it to kill.
Be on top of that sniper all the time. And this is the thing, right? I would say Troll probably has, like, out of all the heroes, I think Troll probably has the latest average timing for Blink Dagger because he doesn't prioritize it until after his after all of his stat items, right? SNY, BKB, usually plus one item, which is usually going to be Scotty, and then they turn that then into Blitz. I'm trying to keep this conversation going.
I'm so glad there was no camera for that.
And Blitz is over here groping me. Well, now the camera's on us.
Oh, is it?
It is.
But now I'm slouched down, waiting for the game to start again. This is how I watch games.
It's pause time. What I mean, I don't think. Wait, they're actually.
Oh, they're going. They're
good. They're good.
Okay.
I don't think people are like, what? He's not sitting up straight during the pause.
Well, I didn't actually know that you switched back, so nobody knows what happened, and hopefully this VOD gets deleted so people don't listen to you say, I didn't grope him. I'm not cheating on anyone. So, NiP, yeah, I mean, they've got the farm advantage for sure. And this troll is getting massive. But at the same time, it's weird because if the troll gets too big, then maybe Alliance can take advantage of his 6-stack and eventually catch up. And they do have really good ways to kite him. They've got tons of stuns. They've got the Slardar to re-engage often. The only real thing that I'm super concerned about for Alliance right now is just the fact that Loda this game, with how much he's been forced to rotate, has not had time to pick up farm. Like, these are all mid-game items, right? The Blink Dagger obviously will always be useful, but as your BKB starts ticking down, things get really rough, and he's just not finding item progression because if you notice, they're just right back into the jungle. They just keep getting into fights. While Era, you know, the onus isn't on them to perform at this point. They just have to wait it out, and it's been difficult for them at this phase of the game to actually get initiations in.
Yeah, so I mean, because the sniper is fully addressed by the troll at this point in time, right? When you've got Scotty and a Blink Dagger, you just lock onto the sniper every chance you get, and there's not much he can really do. I mean, he's got some range, but it's still not enough to deal with a Blink Dagger and pretty much max movement speed troll. So he's not going to get much damage output unless his team really spends a lot of resources locking down that troll. And if that's the case, if the sniper's kind of out, if he's too busy, you know, retreating, that's actually hilarious. You see what he did there?
What?
He amplifies the creep to give him vision over here.
Oh, I see.
I mean, when the ward dies in 30 seconds, oh, I suppose the amplify damage will die too.
Yeah, it'll eventually die too, but it's kind of neat.
Yeah, but if the ward was down, that would actually be an interesting way to get vision.
But NiP, they just have to play it slow. Scotty was actually completed. I believe that'd be on Pycat. Yes, it was. He'd be the only person that would be close enough at this point to get it. And so what Alliance have to do right now is bait out Pycat and then swap him out. And then at that point, you have to kite the shit out of Era. Like, you kite... I was going to reference that book.
Hanskin is going to blow up Mad real quickly, and he's going to try and get out. He's got the defensive Yule Scepter ready to go, and the response from his team is going to be coming in. Era trying to get the slow, but Pycat one step ahead. Ake is going to be slowed down. Lip is going to be able to finish him off. Laguna Blade onto Loda, trying to finish him off, but it's still not enough. And that means the Static Storm is going to be able to lock down Lip. He pops the BKB. Pycat now taking the Chain Frost. Era right on top of him with the overgrowth on top of all of that. Pycat
Era actually dodges it
too early, but nice force step. Era gets away, trying to lock down Pycat. Range for him to finish him off, and that will now mean the end of Alliance's team fight. Ninjas and Pajamas win it without losing a single hero.
And both teams fought really well there. I can't stress that enough. I mean, Alliance, they had perfect timing with his last breath. Okay, even though he didn't die, he throws down the Static Storm and actually managed to survive. The Slardar goes in as well. They kite really well, but... And then you saw Era dodge the stun from Slardar by blinking forward, past it, and they were able to kill the sniper as well, and Era's just going ham now.
Yeah, Era just wants as many kills as humanly possible. Couldn't quite get the kill on Ake, though. Will be forced back to take this lane of Rex. It's guaranteed dead. Fortunately, the rest of the tier 2s are still up, so Alliance are definitely in this game. They're not going to lose 2 sets of racks, just 1, and they don't need to lose any heroes to try and defend. Ninjas and Pajamas are actually going to smoke up to go back to Roshan. Nice and quick. Not sure if the smoke was necessary, but...
It's to get there faster, and also if they decide to engage, you can counter-engage, and it makes it more mysterious.
Right.
So Alliance don't have any time to respond, but your sniper's dead. If you buy back, you'll see it coming a mile away anyways, and I mean, now life becomes really difficult for Alliance if it wasn't before. They've had a lot of fights where they fought really well, but at the same time, it's just the measure of the farm difference between the two teams.
Right.
Like, Era's had a lot more time to farm than Loda has, for example. And it looked okay for Alliance in the mid game, right? If you're just looking at the score, you're thinking to yourself, okay, they're doing okay, but the net worth was actually going heavily in favor of NiP just because their heroes were reliably farming. Like, at some point, you can't just rely on kills alone to get you farm.
Alliance looking for something here. 25 to 31, 40 minutes in. And Ninjas and Pajamas really just need one last team fight. And they will have this game in the bag. And it may all start with an invisible Limp setting up, gets the stun on a Pycat, but he's immediately bursted down, or almost. There goes the Aegis. The rest of them locked out by the kinetic field, and Era's actually not going to be able to blink forward. The shrapnel's canceling. That means Limp, he's probably going to go down to the front lines. He gets the kill on the support, but Loda comes in with a stun on his Seal Kit. The Static Storm still zoning out the rest of Ninjas and Pajamas. Hanskin eats the cheese, but he'll fall again still. Not sure if that cheese was worth it, and Jonas and Fon trying to get the kill on an equal. Will actually be able to, as now Era comes in with a BKB. He says he can 1v4, and he's right. He can take down two. Era's running down the rest of these heroes. Pycat is slowed down. Ake just needs to try and create as much space as possible, but the blink forward. Era still locking onto Pycat as best as possible, not letting this little dwarf escape. BKB activated by Pycat as he's trying to get ahead of Era, loop around, TP out at the bash.
Oh my god.
Bash. Pycat's done for. No escape. The range axes will give him the vision necessary to complete the kill. The Bashed Lord Era.
The fact that that was insane. He just goes in 1v4 and he's like, I will take you all out by myself. And
I mean, let's be real. Jonas wasn't really going to do much there.
He's not perfect.
Yeah, he weakened up Nikwa, and then Era's like, all right, Jonas, step aside, buddy.
He's like, I got this, my friends. And he just runs in. That was some sort of like weird fantasy people have, you know, where the troll is beating on the sniper and you're okay with whoever wins that fight at that point. But I mean, the troll's going to come back on top 10 times out of 10. And without that buffer of heroes, the sniper just isn't, it's not value at that point. You just don't survive one-on-one against the troll warlord, as we saw, and Era just has so much of a farm lead on everybody else that it doesn't matter at this point what he does. And Ake does his best. I mean, he throws down the lightning, he glimpses back Era, and he still manages to chase up the sniper and get on top of him. And that's just one of those things where
it doesn't get a better engagement than
Yeah,
that. You literally zoned out Era for the whole entire fight.
Like, that's perfect fight for Alliance. They picked off so many heroes. I mean, they had the numbers advantage. Limp died as well off the bat. You don't get anything to help out Era during that fight either. Like, he actually just went in by himself and was like, I will never stop. Like, you cannot. He was like
he was the Terminator, essentially.
Nah, dude, he was Liam Neeson from Taken. That's what. And all of the people on his team were his daughters.
Oh god, that's 4 times the Liam Neeson.
Yeah,
that's 4 times the revenge.
That's as many sequels as that movie's gonna have.
That's the plot. That's the plot of Taken 4 right there.
How many times can your family at this point, like, I feel like at that point you're just responsible, right? So Era felt responsible there, decided he was gonna go ham. I mean, he's got a Satanic as well. His item progression has just been through the roof. But again, Alliance, I mean, they can go high ground for days with what they have. They've got the Darkseer, the Slardar for initiation. You've got a Sniper, and you can never discount this hero.
Hey, there's an Aghanims for the Disruptor.
Oh, that's so huge, actually.
That is actually a gigantic upgrade. they can actually lock down the troll. That means no BKB, no satanic. And those two items are so key for the troll and all of his sustain.
Yeah, for sure. And
oh, whoa, 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 Loda.
just looking to get aggressive.
All right, that's one way to get vision uphill.
Yeah, so Hanskin for a
Mystic
second.
Flare.
Yeah, I mean, they wanted to ward, but you have to get out of there.
You could just range for Max. There we go. Era.
Oh my gosh.
He gets it.
It's just so funny how Air just went so ham there. It's still like fresh in my mind. It was just funny, but I mean, people are gonna claim imbalance, and that's not our place to talk about that. But you have to realize he's a 6-slotted hero. Like
Yeah.
the fact that a 6-slotted hero can do that at this point isn't very surprising.
A 6-slotted hero that I would say, I would consider him a pretty good counter to the sniper. You would agree with that, right? I mean, he's so mobile, he gets in the sniper's face all the time.
If there's any hero with a blink dagger and a Scotty, he's gonna be good against a sniper.
Right.
So,
but also one that's super, super fast, like a troll.
Yeah. So, all things aside, really good play by Era.
Ooh, Loda's going to be able to find Hanskin. They're going to burst him down first, or maybe
man.
not. The overgrowth is actually holding them all in place. The Mystic Flare goes down. Pycat and Loda now just trying to away from the troll, but it's not going to happen. Loda, stun up. They're going to try and slow him down with the Scotty as best as possible. Era being slowed down by Pycat. He's actually just trying to keep his distance as best as possible from the
Pycat's
troll.
got a kite for his life here.
He can't actually stop because the Blink Dagger would go up. Pycat now fighting up against Steel Kid as well. Era's going for the kill onto Loda, but farther up, Steel Kid should be going down. Pycat can actually finish him off. Era gets the kill first. Now turns for the rest of the team. He's already activated his Satanic, but he's stunned up. He may actually die here. Loda trapped in the corner up against the troll. He will fall, but the supports will clean up the fight, and NiP will lose
with the
5.
ultra kill.
Oh my lord. Jesus. How does he get the ultra kill as a disruptor?
Okay, we were talking about support levels. Just take a look at what level Ake is all of a sudden in this game. Like that's
oh my god.
That's like maybe the most absurd swing I've ever seen in my entire life. Like they lost like 6 fights in a row, and all of a sudden this disruptor is level 20. Like, let's just take a look at the heroes right now. He's like 5th. He's actually ahead of every single hero on his. Actually, not every.
He's ahead of Loda.
Yeah, he's ahead of Loda. Which
that's something.
That's pretty absurd. And I mean, Alliance with the fight of their lives. I thought for sure.
I thought that it looked so bad when both Loda, and that was really smart by them. We'll talk about that in a second. Hanskin, actually catches out Ake, gets a good amount of damage onto him. Jonas, some fun.
Ake never dies.
Will slow him down. Really? You sure about that? Because it looks like Jonas, overgrowth? No. Oh, he catches him.
Oh, it just catches him at the edge
with
of
the tree. And Ake, you lied to me. There goes that mega kill streak. 560 gold for the tree.
These are some weird swings that are happening right now, but I mean, I don't have any clue how Alliance managed to win that fight. I mean, obviously we saw how it happened, but at the same time, and they're down 20k net worth, but they're just kiting and kiting forever, and it takes so long to kill anybody for NiP at this point. Alliance just split up. NiP though, they still have the advantage. All they have to do is wait for this next Roshan, and they have the advantage too, just because of the fact that this bottom lane is pushed in.
And if you're Alliance, how do you get to Roshan?
Look at the trees.
I mean, really, looking at the vision right now, hit F3.
You're gonna take so
How do you
long.
get to Roshan?
You're gonna have to.
This whole entire area is all covered.
You're gonna have to become like, I don't know which movie features woodcutters, but they actually have to just mow down this entire forest right now.
Yeah. They need a timber saw on their team.
Oh, that was a good time for a Pocahontas reference. That's what it should have been.
Okay. I couldn't really think of one. I was actually going for a firefighter movie, but I don't think anyone knows.
Is there a firefighter movie?
Yeah, it's called Backdraft.
Oh, there's a TV show with Dennis Leary, I think, where he plays a firefighter as well. But see, this is the perfect time to talk about inane stuff when nothing is happening. And actually,
both
they find
teams are farming up,
and chilling out. And Alliance find the gem. I'm trying to find a good mixture of trying to be professional and still be my clowny self. And this is the perfect time for it, when things are mellowed out.
Ooh, Scythe of Ice picked up by Nikwa. So
that's a really good
some extra initiation since you already have the Blink Dagger. The problem is going to be, again, how can they get to Roshan? Well, the answer is they can't. They can't get to Roshan. They have to give it up.
Do they have a smoke coming? This is how you do it. No.
It's one of those situations. Oh, yeah.
I got excited for a second. I was like, Alliance can fight this, but with an Aegis now, I mean,
it's 5.5 minutes until smoke.
Oh yeah, we talked about that. It was like 9 minutes away at one point, but
yeah.
Limp gets another Aegis, and he just
look at Jonas. He's actually look what? he has both of these trees covered in the lower area, and he's got this one tree covered as well. He is actually just like massively spamming out Eyes in the Forest all over Roshan.
Mother Nature, man. And he's getting trees everywhere, and he's just popping his ultimate.
Nature will find a way.
Yeah, nature finds a way. But I mean, he's got so much farm at this point. Look at it. He's got a Blink Dagger with Aghanim Scepter, a Refresh Orb. He's got 2 pairs of boots, 1 for each foot. They don't match, but we don't really care about that. We take those. And Pycat, though, steadily building up his data list cap. He's kind of getting some farm, and Alliance are doing the smart thing as well. They're kind of trading around their gem because they realize there's so much vision. And if you lose the gem at this point, you're never gonna have enough sentries to deward all this. And Alliance get a bit of a taste of their medicine because this is like what we see Mad do so frequently.
Yep.
This has to be so frustrating for them.
Honestly, but it's the dream. Like for me, the dream. Like Alliance have made the comeback. If at any point in this game, Loda gets an Assault Cuirass.
Yeah, and that is going to be
like
the dream item.
He was so far behind. He's got the plate mail and the chain mail now.
He's only really the Hyperstone behind.
Yeah.
If you're Loda here,
close.
do you buy out or do you save for buyback in case they decide to push with Aegis?
I think you have to save for buyback.
Yeah, you would just lose the game if you went for Hyperstone and got caught out. And
Yeah.
Limp starting to get some farm, and it was like what, 20 something, 22k, and now it's only, okay, wait, it's dipping back down a little. Now it's only 20k. You're making strides. Like that's something.
You are. You just need to win like 2 or 3 more amazing engagements.
I mean, if it happened before, it's going to be easier now that Ake's level 20. I can't get that out of my... It was like level 9 when the whatchamacallit supports were like level 17.
Yeah.
That doesn't even make sense to me.
To be fair, though, the 4 levels after 16 do not mean anything.
Oh, of course not. It's just one of those funny things where...
Yeah.
I wouldn't even call that the rubber band mechanic. It's just the fact that he was there for so many kills almost by himself. Like, Ake just went ham in that fight, and NiP, they have to be weary of taking another fight like that. I mean, Arrow is chasing out 2 heroes by himself, but he gets kited pretty easily. He does have the Assault Curse, manages to get rid of the Yasha, and if you're him, you probably get Travels at this point, save for a buyback, so you can have 2 lives no matter what. So you can Travels back into a fight, even if your team is losing it.
Hold up. Cart just said that is the first Disruptor Ultra kill since 6.80.
Oh, that's sick. Well played, Ake.
What a player.
He's so him.
Also, Pycat is something ridiculous, like 17-1 on Sniper.
Oh yeah, didn't he like not lose it? Was it Troll that he hasn't lost a game with? At some point, well,
he's like...
Alliance as a whole, just when they get Sniper and Troll, they have a really formulaic way of playing those heroes, but it really feels like NiP, they had good counter picks in general, and they took a lot of Alliance's flavor, like the heroes that they really like playing, the Troll, the Treant, and they actually got one of their heroes that they really like playing in the Limp Lina. Like that's one of the heroes that he really, really likes playing.
Yeah. What do you get this late into the game as a Lina?
Refresher?
So is it 100% Refresher? That's what I figured, but
I mean, you can double ult the Slaughter and kill him. Actually, yeah, it'd be really close. Like you just need to right click him once with the double ult. And think about how quickly his Fury Soul would be going off if he casts every single spell twice at once. He would actually.
Doesn't that have a cap though?
There shouldn't be.
It does have a stack of 3.
Oh dang. Otherwise, he would be an actual machine gun.
6 different stacks of Fiery Soul.
Just go. Bub.
Oh, well, Alliance potentially caught out here. Smoke from NiP. They're so scared all the time. They're just like running this 5-man train everywhere they go.
They have to. This is the one down. This is why I feel like some comeback mechanic should exist, just because if you have to stick together as 5, and they do, Alliance do have to stick together, then you need some way of catching up for the the lost gold where NiP just farm out your map.
So you're saying you need double the comeback gold to win a Train Protector is winning.
I mean, look at the
team.
forest.
I mean,
it's
actually clear vision.
I would be so... If I was a new spectator to this game, I'd be like, why does the dire side just have map hack?
I was about to say, that's exactly what it is. It's legalized map hack.
Yeah, it's legalized map.
Train Protector, legalized map hack.
Yeah, whenever I talked in Dota 2 about Night Stalker and how his ags provided map hack, people thought I was serious, but this is as close to map hack as it gets.
This is
Everywhere.
real map hack because it's not just
It's even
located
better.
around the
It gives
hero.
your entire team vision. Like, everybody sees what's happening. Do you understand how fast he farms as well?
Yep.
You haven't. I don't know if we pointed this out, but Jonas Fan has just been periodically popping his ultimate and getting like 10 neutral kills a second.
Uh-oh. Limp right in the middle of this is going straight for Pycat. They're going to lock him down. Overgrowth, Force Staff getting some distance. Era actually jumps straight onto Ake, but he needs some more double Overgrowth now going off. Pycat pops his BKB in order to get out, but Loda, not so lucky, quickly surrounded by the ninjas. And 3 down on the side of Alliance. Limp will survive through that, so he's going to be good. He'll actually eat the cheese, and Ninjas and Pajamas will now push in to end the game.
There's just okay, so the buybacks come out, but there's just too many Christmas trees in the forest. Like it's so hard to defend against it. And right now, Alliance, they have to buy back for this at this point, but
Vacuum? Nope.
you're not going to be farming anyways during this time, and that's like the one downside. Like we talked about, like Loda, how we've been watching him try to build an assault curse for the better part of this game. And it's just been so rough for him because that's Alliance's only way back into fights is that he at some point has to die for the cause.
Right. The vision. Like now that they've actually been able to push forward and Alliance, did they lose the gem by the way?
It's just so funny,
No, they
like they're in the middle, like at the end of the fight, he's like, oh, I should just quickly place 2 things over here as well.
Ninjas and Pajamas just took the tier 3 tower. Didn't actually manage to do much else. Had to back up. And are probably going to be waiting on Roshan. Which is coming up starting time in about 30 seconds here. Don't know what the actual spawn time is for him.
Yeah, and Alliance right now, the only way they can move out into their forest at any point is to smoke. Because, I mean, do you really want to spend this entire time just dewarding things? It would take you so long to deward your entire jungle. Like, I'm not even mad. It's just, it's so funny that much of the map right now is completely locked in vision. And it's just going to take Alliance so long to get outside of their base. And with
basically everything that Alliance sees, everything that Alliance does not see, Ninjas and Pajamas do see.
And right now, what do you really need wards for at this point? Like, there's one ward placed up here, but it just feels like a placeholder right now because he can't get a tree up there.
Ooh, Loda, as well as Era, kind of got next to each other there. But, well, Limp is actually going to go for this kill here, but they're going to turn around. No, Yule Scepter onto Loda. It's going to catch him out now. Limp, oh no, a miscommunication, bad. Gets swapped into Loda. Now they're actually having to deal with Era. Nice bash from Loda, and it's going to be able to buy Pycat time. But look at Era. He just isn't losing HP. The lifesteal's more than enough as he beats into Loda's face. Range for him to finish him off. The Laguna Blade also to get Ake. Oh,
They're
what a
both
vacuum,
getting
but
away.
There's nothing there. They're all locked inside, but there's no AoE whatsoever out from the side of Alliance. It's just the sniper peeping. Manages to get 2. The Lina goes down. So does Skywrath Mage. Jonas Fun trying to get away from Nikwa. Should be able to get out. Awkward engagement for Ninjas and Pajamas.
Wow, that was just, they got too greedy there.
Yep.
Like, the Slardar had like 1 hit left, and the Lina could have Laguna Bladed him, but he thought to himself, okay, we'll definitely kill the sniper. And that's twice now that he's done that, right? Where he decided he'd go for the value kill.
Oh, wait, Jonas. Why? Why?
And Jonas reveals himself, and he thought the Lina was a lot closer. They
Oh, Era's coming in. He's actually going straight for Pycat. Is this another 1 versus 4? Perhaps. Force staff forward. Pycat into the trees, but seen by the ranged axes and now trapped in a corner. Nobody puts Baby in a corner, but oh boy, that Laguna Blade wipes him out. This time, Limp is not taking chances.
No,
they
he
are going to
can't.
be able to stun up the Darkseer. Nikwa goes down, and further on, Jonas is actually trying to stall up the rest of these heroes from being able to escape. The buyback from Pycat, but Nikwa's actually down for 2
If
minutes.
Loda dies again.
Yep, he's out. 100
Jonas-
seconds for both of them, and it's all up to Pycat now.
Yeah, and Jonas actually manages to get a 4-man on them, and Limp's getting quite low, though, and he's actually going to get swapped.
Yeah, but Pycat, or Era's ready to go with the Blink Dagger. He's going to jump on Ake first. They get off the static storm, but Pycat is left all alone now. Matt is going to be able to help out a little bit.
They might actually get him as well,
on Era. Pycat can now just keep on going. He'll run after Jonas some fun. He doesn't have the vision, though. If they can just get the invisibility off, Jonas will survive, but no, the glimpse back. He's actually spotted out by the ultimate, and he will end up falling somehow, some way. Alliance are staying in this game, but they've lost their tier 4s. They've lost so very much.
That fight went so long that the bottom was able to push out the tier 4s. And I don't know, if you're Alliance, you're probably okay with that.
Yep.
That 18-minute sequence of events where you fought for dear life and held on for some reason. And I feel like NiP, they went for the min-max a little bit too hard, especially in Limp. I can't really blame him because it's like a 100 HP Slardar, right? You don't want to go for that. But at the same time, if he was able to kill him there and nail him, then Slardar doesn't have BK or buyback, and he can't get back into that fight, and you probably just win the game off of that. But NiP or Alliance managed to hold, and all of a sudden the sniper is super duper rich. Like, he sells his SNY, he's almost got a data list completed, he's got boots of travel that he could sell at some point too if he wants to max out and farm, and things look better than they did 2 minutes ago. It's still a 30k difference in net worth, but you're still demonstrating that you can win fights.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right, Blitz, in the fact that Alliance are good with how that fight went because they didn't lose the game.
Yeah, they
essentially
did lose
was
the
it
game.
come down.
I'm trying to make
right?
things exciting for the viewers.
No, it is exciting, but Alliance are basically fighting for their lives, and
Yeah,
they just
they-
barely manage to
If
keep
they lose
themselves in
if
the
they
game.
lose a fight like once, they lost the game.
Oh, this is the best opportunity that they have at this point in time. They could actually take
Tree
Roshan.
and Lena don't have buyback.
Era, are you gonna 1 versus 4? He doesn't have the Lena, he doesn't have the tree, and he won't have those two. Shrapnel actually spots out Era, and he'll back up.
Yeah, and they actually disrupt her.
That is really big. I mean, I suppose you're not gonna fight for the next minute anyway.
What do you need tier 4 towers for when you're just gonna try to GG push end the game?
Yeah.
And so I think honestly, if
You
you're
5-man down mid?
if you're Alliance, you might actually, just because of the fact that you don't have buybacks, but you've got Cheese and Aegis, and you know for a fact NiP on their 3 core heroes don't have buyback. So I think if you're if you're Alliance, push out the side lanes and go for it.
Yeah.
Because the longer that you have to hold on to your outer towers, which don't exist anymore, like you've got 1 tower left, you've got an exposed throne, why not? Like, why even get to the point? Like, if they just hold on, you're still never getting in an offensive position. But this might actually be the best possible scenario for Alliance to go for it while the buybacks are down.
To provide a counter argument, though, technically they can get bigger while Ninjas and Pajamas are basically maxed out. Like, Era's not going anywhere, Limp's not going anywhere with his farm. Even the Train Protector, whatever item, like he can get Shivas or whatever, but it's not going to be that big of a deal, right? Meanwhile, you have a Slardar who can definitely get so much more if he's able to farm up. It's just so hard to farm in these kind of situations. Like, sure, you can
difficult
turtle it out,
times,
but
in these difficult times.
yeah.
And they are difficult times right now. Just the fact that, yeah, Limp decides to go for the refresher. You have to. You've actually got like 5 active items. Like, it's just no reason not to.
Yeah.
And you've got obviously the double ultimate that will pretty much take down almost anybody from Alliance. Yeah, that would actually do so much right now. This disruptor somehow is the most farm I've ever seen a disruptor have in recent competitive Dota, but yeah, the damage is still there, and NiP, they didn't have to buy back on their troll either, who manages to farm up 6.6k gold, so you could get another item on top of what he has. And the only problem in that argument, Cap, is that if Alliance lose a fight and they don't have buyback, the game's over.
Right.
But I guess it would be over anyways in that regard. I just feel like if they go for a push, you put your fate into your own hands at that point.
Yeah.
Then you say, okay, we lost doing something aggressive instead of just kind of waiting to die.
Yeah, slowly but surely, like, you're eventually going to have that one fight where you're like, oh god, we're not watching our throne, and the throne dies to the
That's
bottom
actually what they're
lane
doing,
push or
though.
something.
Here we go.
Yep.
They're trying to look for the pick and go for the game.
This is their one opportunity, the smoke. Every 10 minutes you have a smoke.
You gotta go for it.
They actually have a smoke in another 3 minutes somehow. They didn't
been a
use
long
a
enough
smoke
time.
for a really long time, so they could actually fail this smoke gank, which it looks like it will fail, and back up and smoke again in 3 minutes, but the Aegis will be down.
You know, it's been a 63-minute game, and it hasn't felt like it at all.
It hasn't.
Like, I just literally looked at the timer, and I expected to see, like, 35 minutes or something, but the fact that it's been 63 minutes, and, I mean, it's just been such an engaging game.
If you could have this many eyes up in the forest by 35 minutes,
I don't know.
I don't want to play this game.
It's been really back and forth, and it speaks to the fact that even though Alliance are down by this much, they're still holding. And I mean, the fact that NiP have somehow managed to build up this kind of lead against a team like Alliance is also impressive. Like, you have to talk about that as well. And it's 30k gold. They're actually looking for it right now. Matt's gonna get caught out.
He gets caught just barely. Mystic Flare.
They actually back out on him. They don't want to overextend with Limp not having buyback up right now.
That's
and
smart.
he actually has it up in 9 seconds now.
That being said, I can't believe the Mystic Flare wasn't hitting.
Oh yeah, that was
bad. That was actually like he was halfway in there. Like his right leg was actually getting pummeled by all that magic.
He is going to be sore in the morning.
He really is. Especially after this whole entire game, man.
Imagine if you could target like specific parts of a hero's body, you know, and they're gimped like the rest of the game. Like you just keep hitting a sniper's knees to slow him down.
Just to hobble him as much as possible.
Yeah, exactly. Like
you quite literally named the hero with your halberd, or
it only changes when you die, and then you come up fresh. But even if you heal, the part where you were hobbled, you're still slow.
Sorry, you're getting to next level now, Blitz.
That would be Dota 7.
Dota 7.
My children will be
where you're able to just go into the Oculus Rift and be the hero.
Yeah, exactly. My children are going to be the ones that are taught to go for the cheap shots.
Blitz is like teaching his grandchildren.
Yeah, they're gonna go low.
Like, this is what you do. You spam one really OP hero all the time.
Me? That's been the story of. I was playing that hero before. I'm the Storm hipster, but I mean, Alliance, they push out the bottom lane. They have to. If you lose a fight at that point where your lanes aren't pushed in, you have absolutely no chance.
Okay,
maybe even with buybacks.
I'm going to go back to that real quickly, Blitz. I'm sorry. But was Storm Spirit ever a completely non-viable hero?
Yeah, there was a time period where in the push meta, it just wasn't very good. But I mean,
But not in the pub meta.
Yeah, I like playing the hero. It's fun to me. I don't play it because it's been... Somebody on Reddit says I only play it because it's broken, but I've been playing it since like 2008. So,
yes. But we can say you probably you wouldn't have as much fun playing it if it wasn't as viable as it's always been.
Oh,
right? Storm Spirit's like a Furion, right? Where it's kind of always viable.
When was the last time you saw an NP?
Yeah. But I'm talking about like in your pub games.
Oh yeah, I mean it's just a fun hero in general to play.
It's simply because like the abilities that he used teleport. He was just Furion.
He was a panda in Dota 1.
Yep.
And
were you a fan of the panda race?
Yeah, I like the panda race.
Were you a Pandaren?
Yeah, it was cute.
Because you look like a panda, but
I know. That's actually part of the reason. I was like, oh, it's a cute hero, and I'm kind of chubby, and you know, the black spots around their eyes look like glasses, so it kind of makes sense.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So NiP, 30k lead. See, we're trying to balance it, guys. We're trying to make things...
You know, it doesn't work if you point it out.
Yeah, but they have to appreciate it. They have to appreciate. You know what I started doing?
I want a Reddit thread for this.
No. You know what I started doing in my head to make sure I'm not biased towards one team? I always have to keep track of how many compliments I've given one team, and I try to give an equal one to the other team, so there's no bias. Nobody can ever accuse me of liking one team more than another, but... I mean, things have...
That is actually so next level.
Yeah, it is.
I think it's maybe just a bit too much. Like I get accused of... Whenever I get accused of bias, it's always like the opposite of how I actually feel, or it's just a match I literally just don't care about.
No, I'm keeping the number of compliments as entirely equal as possible, so...
What are you up to?
I think I'm
or are you just doing, like,
if I do 2 for...
one
if I do 2 for Alliance, then I have to make sure I make 2 positive comments for NiP, but...
That feels... I mean, what happens if a team is just playing like ass, Blitz?
You still have to do it. You can't have... I kind of feel strongly about this, that...
Okay.
I don't want to have bias towards one team or imply that I want one team to win more than another.
Yeah, well, at the same time, like, again, what if a team is playing like total ass? Do you just like make up bad not bad compliments?
You still talk. You can still talk.
You can still give a compliment, right? But it's such a low, poor
The smoke, though.
At that point, yep, they got it. Loda's going to be jumped on site device to start out with. Era further down is actually jumping onto Mad and Ake, clearing them both out. Well, the sniper trapped in the corner again. Pycat, how many times are you taking this position?
Era,
He's
though,
actually going to win this up against Era, possibly. Little going to blade from the side. Limp now forced back as Pycat hides underneath the cover of the trees.
Are Alliance actually going to win this?
Era's going to go down. Nico with the beautiful wall is setting up for a beautiful defensive position on Pycat as he continues to lay down fire, but now the Mystic Flare, long-range artillery will take out the sniper finally as Seal Kid gets the last hit. And now with the Lina, Limp buyback, Era as well. They've got to defend their throne at the same time.
And there's just so many creeps as well. And
oh, the refresher out from Era. He's got a fresh BKB, fresh Satanic, fresh everything.
Yeah, and Alliance, I mean, this is possibly the closest game with a 30k advantage that I've ever seen. Like, we didn't hover over the gold graph, you actually couldn't tell that it was this one-sided.
Yeah.
But Alliance are fighting out of their minds. I mean, Pycat built himself like a tunnel in the back.
I know, right?
He's just like chilled there for...
And the best part was, like, Nico responded really well to it. He actually got off that beautiful wall right here and set up the vacuum and everything else.
They fought around that area perfectly, and Alliance, I mean, it's just a testament to how well they're fighting right now, and NiP not really giving an inch either. Like, they might lose that fight there, but, you know, they don't give up anything on top of that. And Air goes to the buyback, but the fight's already over, and if you're NiP, you have to be slightly concerned at this point, just because both of your buybacks are on cooldown, and so you might even just wait for them to reset. And I really feel like that might be the best option for them, is just wait for the reset, or pick off a hero like, say, Loda, who doesn't have buyback.
No, ninjas in pajamas, don't do it! Loda's so close, he was going to get the assault.
He was going to get his AC. Oh, he actually gets swapped out, though. Mad's actually going to be the target.
Mad, the savior of the dream, but now Loda's still going to go down. He's been sight device, overgrowth, controlled, nice, force staff away, and Loda actually survives. He's getting away. What a beautiful vacuum, as now ninjas in pajamas on the retreat. Loda comes back just for an amplified damage. Arrow pops a BKB and runs himself away. Yoda's some fun. Oh my god, he died. I heard the glimpse, and he does end up dying inside of the base. The rest of ninjas in pajamas on their way out. Beniqua trying to catch somebody. He doesn't have the sight device, so he can't really slow them down.
And that was just such a good swap by Mad, understanding that the Slardar was definitely going to die. Like, you don't wait that out even for half a second.
Right.
Don't wait for the Slardar to get low. Just use it as a positioning tool. Use it to reset the fight, and such a good wall by the Darkseer as well. Like, that could have gone 10 times versus their NiP. And imagine, too, like, if they had lost that fight, they would have had both cores with no BK or no buyback as well, and that could have actually just meant the game for Alliance. And so, I mean, both teams, they're kind of like teeter-tottering on the edge, and we've been rooting for it all game. And Loda manages to finish the assault curse now, and you're actually just being a Twitch meme lord as I cast.
I'm sorry, you were going on these rants, but we have it. We finally have it. The assault curse.
You're so excited.
I'm so excited. Like, now for me, Alliance have won. In my head, it's just like, yep. Like, just because this is such a morale victory for Loda. He finally has an item other than the BKB he had. He actually didn't pick up an item for like 40 minutes straight.
That's intense. Honestly, the fact that he's had no item progression and they can still hold is insane to me. Like, I can't say... Now you're going to know that I'm counting. I can't say no good things about Alliance right now, but NiP have done such a good job of building up this lead. But at the same time, it's got to be getting closer to comfort than them. This game has just been so back and forth so far, and maybe this is the opening that both teams are looking for. This is the first time Alliance, they're leaving their base for this Roshan again because they can't give up the Aegis.
I mean, but whoa, at a certain point in time, doesn't Roshan lose some of its allure? I mean, the Aegis at that point is an item you can't pick up on your cores. Sure, like a support, or like in this case, who would it even be? Maybe,
it would help.
Maybe Lina.
It would help Loda the most. Like, it would
yeah. Well, yes. But on the side of Ninjas and Pajamas, in the sense that we can't let NiP get Roshan. Is that actually true?
Nah, it's probably not that big of a deal. You could actually give it to Era, and he could just drop his Blink Dagger, and I think that might actually be. But if you don't have Blink, you don't really have a good way to catch up, but this might actually be... This is the fight.
God, it's all about the terrain of this fight. They actually just completely...
This is so weird. They just kind of... They've kind of like clocked around like in a circle where NiP are actually looking for the backstab right now, while This is so weird. Alliance going and invading the ancient area.
Oh my
they're
God,
okay.
I
They're
can't
going
zoom
for like
out
a
enough
full.
to show these rotations.
Yeah, they're going for like they're just making circles right now.
They're just like routinely jumping into the Roshan pit, waiting for someone to jump. But Roshan, there's overgrowth number 1. Here comes Limp. He's gonna pop his BKB. Static Storm immediate response, but the BKB is already up. Now Matt is in some trouble. Pycat chased away. Era right on top of him, trying to lock down the sniper as best as possible. Never overgrowth, but the Manta. Pycat gets away. The vacuum into the wall. Pycat though still in trouble. Era's trying to chase him down. He's able to lock down the sniper, and Pycat will fall down for 2 minutes. No buyback for him. Loda left against the rest of the team. These images are actually doing so much work, but not enough. Loda will eventually go down with Jonas Sampan closing the distance inside of the pit, and that is going to be Alliance finally losing this game. They held on for 74 minutes, Blitz, but nobody has buyback, and NiP are still very much alive.
Yeah, and this is nightmare scenario at this point. What else can you say, Alliance? No buyback on the Slardar, I believe. Yeah, he needs a minute 15. You've got none on the sniper for quite some time. He has the gold, but this should mean the game. And Alliance, I mean, you should be okay with how you lost just because of the fact that you had such a big disadvantage in all categories. Like, the fact that they almost brought this game in terms of experience to even. They were behind by 25k XP, almost were able to catch up. A flat 30k disadvantage for them in terms of the gold. But it was just one of those things where it was a matter of time, and that's why I felt like with the first Roshan they took, with all the buybacks down, at least go for it at that point. But it's also risky because you could just straight up lose the game. But I mean, NiP, that's all they had to look for. Take 5 fights, win 1 of them.
One hell of a game, but that's going to bring us to a close. That's just game number 1, though, guys. Ninjas and Pajamas versus Alliance. We have a game 2. It's a 2-game series, so it'll be the only game left for the night.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, we're still on.
They'll wait on us.
Oh,
They'll
okay,
wait
okay.
on us.
Yeah.
We'll be back after a short break.